Hello, welcome to a new episode from Ask Dr. Frank Tough 180 online coaching today. Christmas is stepping forward, the emotions swiping higher, and it's the people also getting in more holiday mood. So I had my last therapeutical workings and my treatments yesterday, and I'm very happy to looking backwards to this year, because I'm very happy to see and I feel very gifted that I have the possibility and to see with how many different cultures and nationalities I am able to work. For example, I have clients from Syria, from Arabia, from Israel, from Germany, from China, from India, from Finland, from Russia, from Switzerland, of course. And I think I have forgotten some other countries, but I mean, it's interesting, and I'm, as I told you, feel very blessed that it's possible that I have to, and that I can work with so many people. So, but anyway, also 2019 in the change to 2020 was a challenging year, and I have the impression that the people are getting more and more in stress. And I have also the feeling that the people getting more and more in insecurity. And for example, I can feel this in Berlin, for example, when I see that people, especially in the finance industry, getting really in the end of the year, the information that some of their working places will be destroyed and will be closed. Many of the German banks have to reduce their presentation capacities, because more and more people doing their work online. And you can see this also when you look to people in shopping centers and all things like this, that people losing their jobs. And on the other hand side, you see in Germany also the impression that that the industry realize right now that Germany is in a problematic status, because the industry, as Germany knows industry for the last 50-60 years, is changing immediately. So, and in Berlin, when you following the news in the last month, you see that Tesla's Elon Musk will build one gigafactory in Berlin, but the point is, it's still not, the contract is still not signed. And there you can see that there is a big lag between the mentality of entrepreneurship of the new world, and on the other hand side, the mentality of the German bureaucracy, what brings many people in Germany in a problematic status, because bureaucracy is a problematic thing in Germany. And this is the reason for this podcast. Bureaucracy is also a problem what makes people in the end sick, or can make people sick. So we have a disruption in the industry. We have political disruptions. We have Brexit, England, which I feel good, because I think that the European community was from the first day of the beginning not a good idea. I telling this to you now because nearly 20 years ago I had the first euro coins in my hand, and when I traveled to a friend in Brazil, I gave them the euro coins, and on this way, hello to Jorge, I gave him these coins, and he can remember that I told him that this will not be a good idea, because nobody will accept this this big currency change. But anyway, later onwards, everybody is smarter and everybody has known everything, so this has nothing to do for the future. But another thing is very interesting. So we I talking all the time about stress on this channel, and I want to give you some impulses which make you a little bit attentional about factors who can maybe have deep and hard impacts to your life when you not have a little bit of attention on your health. And today I had a very interesting communication with a pilot from Switzerland, and during this communication we talked about zero tolerance organizations. And zero tolerance organizations like pilots or nuclear power plant workers know what it, or soldiers know what it means, that you nearly not can accept one mistake, because otherwise the organization or the institution will be collapsed. So in some industries it's very important that you realize immediately that you have to be very attentional and very, very careful what you're doing. Otherwise it is maybe your last decision what you do. And the point is, when we're talking about a zero tolerance organization and about a podcast stress, which you hear at the moment, then you maybe think, hey, what is Thomas talking at the moment here? And now I'm coming on the point. Have you ever heard about nanoparticle in your food? So the question from today, and you will see this also on the episode title, is which or what is more dangerous, nuclear power or your food? What is more dangerous, nuclear power or your food? So today we can make a conclusion between food, stress and thinking, the three podcasts, because the question, what is more dangerous, your food or nuclear power, means everybody thinks, and we are educated, and we are educated that everybody is accepting that nuclear power is something very, very dangerously. And of course, it's not a question that when a nuclear power plant is collapsing, we're suffering and we have a big problem. But when you're thinking clearly, and this is the only thing what I want from you, is that you starting your own thinking process, and that you start to think, and that you not believe everything. And even when you start to think and somebody's telling you, hey, come on, this is maybe you believing the wrong people, stay on your path and think and start your own thinking process, and try to stop to let you get manipulated from other people. And it's everyday situation that you get manipulated, especially from the medias. So coming back on the point is, what is more dangerous, nuclear power or food? How many disasters have you heard in the last time with nuclear power? Even single catastrophe and every single problem with a nuclear power plant or whatever is a problematic situation and even a disaster. But how many problems have you heard? And it's the same thing as the pilot told me. The pilot told me, when you hear about one crash from a plane, you should always remember statistic. And statistic means that you have, you name it, how many flights every day around the world, but you know that it's hundreds of thousands flights when you take all the flights with helicopters, small planes, business flights, long distance flights. I think you come to nearly 200,000 flights all over the world. But we are very attentional when we get the message from one flight disaster. And of course, every single person who's suffering in a situation like this is one person too much. But it's the same with nuclear power. When you think about how many nuclear power plants you have in the whole world, then you can imagine that we have not so many problems as you get in your information transported, and how some people want you to believe that nuclear power is dangerous. And when you're now counting all the nuclear ships, all the nuclear submarines, for example, from the United States, Great Britain, France and Russia together, I mean, at least maybe that's hundreds or maybe that's thousands, but normally you're not getting some informations. And please don't tell me that you think that even when a military institution would have an accident, they not would talk about it. It's not important. When somebody sees an increasing of nuclear power and nuclear waste concentration, they would talk about it. So point on this point. So when you believe me that nuclear power is not so dangerous as it maybe will communicate it from some interest groups, what has this to do with our nutrition? And it's very, very easy. We have nutrition, and I really don't know the word correctly, but it's a Mikronährstoff, nanoparticles. So nanoparticles are so small, and they are there for helping nutrition to be more resistant, that it's better to keep them fresh or make them longer eatable. And these nanoparticles are so small, sometimes from plastic, sometimes with other material, that these particles can cross our blood. My English. Sorry. They can change our Blutschranken. So they can change some systems in our body. And the problem is, when they can change some cells in our body, it's very, very dangerous for us, because when they can come into some cells in our body, they changing also our cell structure, and this can increase cancer. And this is a big problem for all of us, because we getting attached every day with these materials and nobody's talking about it. And now I'm coming back to the question, what is more dangerous, nuclear power or food? And it's very easy. So there are interest groups what are not interested that you pay nothing for your electricity, because when you pay nothing for your electricity, when a whole nation is not paying nothing for his or her electricity, then some interest groups have a problem. Some other interest groups have a big need that you eat as much as possible, and that you eat also things what are longer possible to stay in the supermarket, etc., etc. But the problem is, you don't know how dangerous are these things for our body. And this makes the question of what is more dangerous for our body, or what is more dangerous for us in general, nuclear power or electricity, even more problematic. So with this impulse, and maybe you want to read a little bit about it, I want to finish this long episode for today. I wish you a continuously very, very nice and happy Christmas time, and I hope that you have a wonderful time with your family, and I hope that we will see us very soon again, and I hope that you have a wonderful time with your family. Take care, and please don't be mad with me, because sometimes I'm losing some English words, but I think I will find the word Blutschranke. Or do you maybe find the word Blutschranke? So with this, best wishes, your Thomas Alexander Frank from Tough 180 Online Coaching today.